Hello. I think time has started.
It's noon already. I can't believe it.
And it's Friday. It's been crazy week, last week and a half, I think. But what are we here to talk? Oh, I guess we got to start off with who we are.
Hi, my name is Michelle Mraz.
And I'm Brian Swanson.
And we are Denim and Pearls. Business
Casual. Business casual with pearls of wisdom
from the porch.
From the porch. And of course, we're a little off today, I think. But at this point, there's nobody watching, so we're good.
We're good.
So we'll see who comes on. So what are we talking about today?
Well, we're talking about time, and we named it Time in a Bottle. And we discovered today that Brian cannot sing.
What does that have to do with time?
If I could save time in a bottle.
And I can't carry a tune. I discovered this because I did a test record and the music did not accompany me. So since the music did not accompany me, it didn't sound like I was at least partially in tune. It sounded like, terrible. So, but talking about time in a bottle and time and what was it? Those little things in life that take us away from everything, right?
Exactly. And we got on this whole subject because what is that analogy? You're like, okay, I'm just going to get this little thing done. Oh, and then this little thing done, and this little thing done. And by the end of the day, you're like, oh, shoot, I never got anything else done.
So what are some of those things that distract us, if you will?
Squirrel?
Yeah, no, well, squirrels. Yeah, no, the kitty cat or the rabbit running across the street. But what are some of those things that really distract us when it comes to our day and our productivity and our path to success is really what we're talking about here.
That's really what we're talking about. And I wanted to really talk about this because I'm about to quote Rocky Horror Picture Show. Time is fleeting. Really, it is. And you don't realize when you have little things pop up. And you're like, oh, I'm just going to do that. Oh, I'm just going to do that. And you've got bigger goals. I don't know how many of you have seen that YouTube video where the professor's up front and he fills a glass jar with sand, all the little things, and then he can't get in the bigger rocks or whatever he's using. I think it's like golf balls.
Right.
It's the same concept. If you put in the bigger task first, then the next size down, then all the sand, the little tiny things, you get it all in. And so that's something that we have to wrap our minds about. The things that are a priority before you do all the fillers.
Well, to talk John Maxwell here,
I was
actually taking a look at John Maxwell, and he did one of those minute things with John, and he was talking about you can't manage time, but you can organize. What was it? I totally lost it at this point. But you can see what's going on, and you can manage yourself, and you can do those kind of things. I'll paraphrase since I can't remember the quote. But you can manage what you do, but you cannot manage time, because managing time always continues no matter what we do. So it's what's important. Prioritizing. That's what the word was. So prioritizing what you do within the amount of time that you have.
And it comes back to what I like to say.
What's that?
There's only 3 types of control in the world. There's my control, the other person's control, and God and the universe's. Guess who controls time? Not you.
At least it wasn't SWAT we're talking about.
Not yet.
So where I find some of there's 30 or 40 different things that can distract us when we talk about things that can come in and just squirrel us off, if you will. And one of those being social media. That's huge.
As we're on social media.
Yeah, as we're on social media. But we're not wasting our time here.
And we're not wasting your time.
I hope not. At least I hope they think they're not.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, social media, how many people have ever started out, or how many of you have started out and went, ooh, that's an interesting headline, or, ooh, I want to read about that. And the next thing you know, it's been 2 hours and all you've done is gone down a rabbit hole.
Oh, the worst place for that is TikTok, man. You get on TikTok and like 3 hours pass, you're like, oh my goodness, I haven't had anything today. I haven't even left my bed. So you have to watch where you are. For those of you with smartphones, and I'm pretty sure that's pretty much 99.9% of us, there's a thing called screen time you can put on your phone where it'll track how long you're on each program on your phone. So you can see where you're really working and where you're really just messing around and wasting your time.
But that's scary. I don't want somebody to control. I don't want an electronic controlling my time.
It's not controlling. It just tells you how long you're on each platform. Because I use it because I realize that I don't want to admit this out loud. I was on Facebook like 6 hours a day at one point. And I looked at that little meter that showed me on Facebook and I'm like, I'm done. And so now I only come on 3 times a day. I come on the first thing in the morning after I do my meditation and all the other stuff.
Right.
Then I check my Facebook posts and I answer all the people I can.
Mm-hmm.
And then I come back around lunchtime, answer anybody else that's there. And then I come again around like right before I go to bed at night.
Well, I would skew the calculator because when I'm on Facebook, I'm usually doing something. I'm moving things around. I'm doing whatever it is, marketing, all those other kind of things that we need to do within our businesses.
You're
and stuff.
multitasking?
Yes. Well, no, because we can't multitask like that.
Okay, I was trying to catch him with that.
where I would skew the numbers is Facebook is kind of one of my releases. What I mean by that is I used to play poker. I used to go and spend time, playing poker with folks, free poker, of course, maybe earn a beer now and then. But that's what my getaway was. When I was a kid, it was running. I used to go out and just run to get my mind off of things and, just to kind of bring everything in and capture it and move forward and make decisions in my life, all while I was just running. Well, I've gotten older now, and as you can tell, I don't run anymore. And my poker habit, if it was a habit, kind of went away. So now I sit on Facebook and I play Steam. So I can drain my brain and I just push the button. I don't have to think about it. And if I lose, I move on to the next app. But I don't do that until.
So you may skew that number. So
right. So I don't do that until after everything else is done.
So that wouldn't work for you on your phone, but it works for me because it
Right.
makes me cognizant of what platforms I'm on and how long I was wasting my time on it. And I say wasting time because there are things I should have been doing that I wasn't doing because I was too busy answering people on Facebook. So for those of you who write and I don't answer, that's why. If you fall too far on the train
Mhm.
on that list, I don't go back to it because I promised myself I wouldn't stay on very long.
I think another one is, I love the phone. I love to pick up the phone and actually talk to human beings.
It's weird.
Yeah, I actually answer my phone when it rings. I also talk to people, and there's times when I get into a conversation and it's been an hour and it's over, and then I get off the phone and go, okay, well, I didn't get that done, or I didn't get that done. So that's I'm guilty of that one. I'm definitely can be guilty of that because I like to talk, and people like to listen, I think.
People like to talk and listen. Well, and so watch your calendar, see what you do and where you really need to get things done. And I'm a big believer in, and so I have my paper calendar and I have my phone calendar. And I have parts of my day where my phone doesn't even come on until 11 o'clock in the morning. Why? Because I don't want anybody to interrupt that morning time. I mean, I've got my ritual that I do in the morning, but then I have things I do in the morning for my business. And so if I let anyone's calls come in before that, it'll throw me off track and then I don't get things done. And then I have certain days of the week where I have open time where I will basically take any call, any email, I'll answer everything on those days. And it works for me, and it's taken me a bit of time to get to that point.
Right.
But it's all about not nickel and diming your time away, like Nicholas says, because time does get out of your hands when you are not cognizant of what you're doing.
Right. Well, another one that I look at, I have a question, but I also have a comment. Another one that I look at is you expect for something to take a certain amount of time. It's really bad when it comes to working on cars. If you flip through the manual, it says, oh, look at that. It should take me 30 minutes to make this change. Well, it never happens that way when you're a backyard mechanic. You go in there, that 30 minutes turns into a Saturday afternoon because a bolt breaks or this don't come out or that won't go in or whatever, so that's a huge time waster. Sometimes is underestimating our time, but we can also go through and we can determine what do I want to waste my time on.
Yes. Okay? Then it's not being wasted.
Right. So now I also look at it from what is my time worth? So if you look at taking your car in and getting it fixed, and I'm guilty of this because I like to work on my car, but if you happen to take that car in and say, let another mechanic fix it, it takes him a little bit of time to do it or whatever, and you go pick up the car. Well, while he's working on it,
You can do everything else.
right. So is my time worth that $125 an hour that I'm paying that mechanic to work?
Well, I was just thinking just this past week when my cell phone stopped working on me and then my computer stopped working on me, and I'm sitting at home. I am not tech savvy like that. I don't understand new technology. So I'm sitting at home and trying to figure out how to move my phone information and save it and all this stuff. And I'm like, wait a minute, Brian's techie. I can just ask Brian because he'll fly through it. And so I get to Brian and he starts doing what I would have never imagined to do to get things off my phone. And then he got stuck. And I
Mhm.
thought, I am so glad I sought help from someone else.
Right.
Because think of the amount of time I would have wasted on what took me 2 hours to do, to want to do. I never actually did it. He did in under 5 minutes.
Right. Well, I'm going to invoice you too, by the way. You know that?
No, because that's been a lot of hours. It's been what, 2-3 days
It's
now?
been about 2 or 3 days, but we haven't worked on it that long.
No, it just feels like it. So understand where your time goes and what you do and where you need to prioritize your time. Make sure you write down things of what must be accomplished in a week, and then break it down to what you need to accomplish during each day.
It's a goal. I don't like that word. A lot of people like goals.
I didn't say goal.
Yeah, but that's what you just described.
You said goal. I said write down things that you find that you must have done during the week. And
That's
then
a goal.
no, you're calling it a goal. I'm saying things that must be done. So in your business, do you have to have your accounting numbers in, by the end of Friday, So make sure you have that down on your priority list. My thing is I am such a procrastinator when it comes to anything accounting. So I put it farther up on my list of things I must get done. So let's say it's due on Friday. I'll say due on Monday because I know I'm not going to really do it till Wednesday.
That's like setting your clock ahead 5 minutes in your car to make sure you're going to get there, but then calculating the fact that I still have 5 more minutes to get there.
I still haven't figured that out myself. So I mean, that's one of my big oopses. It's that sitting down and doing that Excel sheet or whatever and sending it to my accountant because I hate doing it, which is silly because I just do it all the time. When I have an expense, I put it in.
Right.
All I have to do is save it and send it, and I still procrastinate on it.
And I agree. It just sometimes it takes you less time to even do the task than you waste thinking about doing it. Oh, that's procrastination.
Well, like Nicholas says, when you want to get something fixed in your house, and you're like, I'm not going to get anyone to do that. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to look it up on YouTube and I'm going to figure it out. And you're like, I don't even know what this tool is. And you go off, excuse me, what's this tool? Oh yeah, it's over there on aisle, whatever. And you go pick that up and then you find out that tool is $50. Okay, but to use that tool, you needed something else to make it generate and you just, it's like give a mouse a cookie. You just start building on things that you really didn't need. Sometimes it's better to hire someone on the outside to do it for you. Right?
Yes. I actually had to turn my mute off so that people don't get my notifications.
Oh.
Somebody sent me a notification.
Oh, that's that.
Yeah. So now if I wanted to use this as we're talking about time, I can sit here and look at my phone.
And find out who wrote you a note.
Yeah, and see how long that takes before we get back to the show.
No, don't do that.
No, okay.
So time in a bottle. We all have the same allotted time every day, in every week, every month, whatever, every year. It's how we use it. And so when you meet people, you're like, man, they get a lot accomplished. It's because they're allotting their time. And as much as some people don't like goals, sometimes when you have goals set and times set in time and place so that you know when you must accomplish certain things. Like with me, I know my maximum time to actually be productive is the most obscure time during the day. I'm very productive between 11 p.m. to 6 a.m.
I sleep during that time.
Exactly. So I will sleep and then I wake up at some ungodly time, like at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'll work for a little bit. And then I'll go back to bed and then wake up again at 8. It's crazy. I'll do the strangest things when I need to get things done. But I don't work well after 1 o'clock.
Now, or that people are organized that can do that. What do you tell people who are not organized?
When do you work best? When do you fall asleep? So when you're working on something and you're always falling asleep while you're doing it, that's not the time you want to do anything. So take that time to use as downtime. If you tend to fall asleep or you just don't have any brain space for it, that's the time to do the mediocre things, that playing on your Facebook page or whatever, that kind of stuff. But when you know you're very productive at a certain time between, let's say, 10 a.m. and 1 p.m., that's when you want to plan your big meetings, your whatever you need to
That's
get done.
lunch.
Yeah, it's lunch. And that's why a lot of people do lunch meetings, because their brain works better around lunchtime.
Okay,
It
fair
works.
enough.
And that's why people say, "Oh, let's meet for coffee," because they're more cognitive to be able to interact with other people in the morning over coffee. So use the time that you are very productive to do productive things. But if you, let's say, like with me as a coach, I know my brain does not work well after 3 o'clock. I do not schedule coaching calls between 3 and 5. It makes no sense. I'm not all there. So they're always in the morning. Yeah. When are you best? When are you at your best?
24/7.
Yeah, right. So figure that out. We all know what it is. You know when you start getting sleepy during the day, just don't schedule major things during that time. If you have, let's say you're going for a job interview and you know at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, your day is done. Your brain does not work. Well, then make sure you schedule your job interview during your peak time so that you are up, you're ready, you're on.
Right. Okay. So because we're talking about time,
Mhm.
we're past our 15-minute mark.
Oh,
We need to do our marketing kind of thing.
okay.
We need to tell people who we are. So who are we? What do they need to do?
Hello, my name is Michelle Maras, and this is Brian Swanson.
I love the voice
We
change.
are Denim and Pearls. Denim and Pearls, business casual conversations with
Pearls of wisdom
from the porch.
from the porch.
We would like you to go touch that little circle if you're watching. Click on that and know when we go live.
I can't do it.
Yeah,
There we go.
when we go live on Facebook. And if you could please go to our YouTube channel, just look up Denim and Pearls. And the link is already there because Nicholas has our back. It's one of the very first posts on this right below us. Click on that, go to the YouTube page and click like, subscribe, and the alert for when we come on live so you can always catch us.
Another thing I was reminded of by our producer.
What?
Don't we have a sponsor?
We do have a sponsor, but I don't have anything to show you yet.
We don't have anything to show, but we do have a sponsor. We can at least say who it is, right?
Yeah, but
do we know the name yet? Her business name?
Well, I know Ann Ludington, but
Ann Ludington, yes.
It's called Heliopolis Rocks.
Heliopolis Rocks. Okay, I'll go with that.
But she's her company is our new sponsor. She makes really cool rocks. Well, she doesn't make the rock. Yeah, she does make the rock. But she has these rocks that she has sayings on them. And she's made us a whole bunch of them that say Denim and Pearls. I don't have them yet, so I wasn't going to announce it, but now you know. Ann, thank you so much,
Yes, Ann.
Thank you.
And she really she doesn't actually make the rock, but she recreates the rock.
Yeah.
Which is really cool because she takes a raw rock and there's a lot of history behind it, but she takes it and she grinds it down or whatever her process is, makes them really smooth and neat looking, and then she can print on them. It's really
and she's
cool.
Got magnets and she's got necklaces and rings. It's just really cool.
So once we get one, we'll do this number.
Yeah.
Hey, look.
Yeah, and they'll be available through the link on our YouTube page, so you can go straight to hers.
Right.
But yeah, I can't even say it. So.
And if you want to join her as a sponsor, we're always looking for folks to come help us out and get us moving on.
Heck yeah. We need more people watching that YouTube so we can change our VIN number to Denim and Pearls. But yeah, I know I'm saying it wrong. Heliopolis Rocks.
That sounds great.
Yeah. First sponsor for Denim and Pearls.
We'll have to go on her page and see how it's pronounced.
She didn't write it. That's why I looked up. She doesn't have how it's pronounced.
Her pronunciation is Ann. This is how you say my name.
Yes.
Awesome. So going back into time.
Yes.
Yes. Talking about time, saving your energy, maybe moving forward, not letting the squirrels get a hold of you or whatever runs out there. I still want to know, how do you take somebody who is not an organized individual and make them organized, or is it just, is it a learned task?
It's a learned task because I'm by trade, by nature, not super organized when it comes to things like that. I had to force myself to do it. So that's why I got a paper planner. I didn't use, well, I'm kind of old, but
I never liked paper planners because I never read them.
but I always kept that paper planner near me and I would carry it with me. I hired a coach way back like 15 years ago, and she said you must know where your time is being allotted. And she got me this really fancy planner with all this dates and times and stuff. I like to color, and so that's really what got me into it. Is I use colored pencils in my calendar, so I would block off and color times that were mine, block out and color when I was going to the gym, block out and color when I was going to meet people, the days I would travel to drive into town. We lived kind of out and about away from the city. And so I would put in a color block of when I would be in town. And then when someone says, "Hey, Michelle, I want to meet you," I would say, "Well, I'm only available on this day and this day." And it was color coded for me.
Wow.
So I didn't look at the time. I just knew these days in green, I came into town. And they do, "Oh, really? What time?" And I do, "Anytime after 2," that kind of thing. But it was all color coded. So if you're not really good at the whole organizing thing, find things that click your brain into gear. With me, it was color and coloring. So my calendar was not numbers. They were one words and pictures of people, like little drawings that I would make about, I'm serious, like
Doodles.
yeah, I would doodle. So like with you, it was Brian, and then I would draw a swan. And then I would have like, a cup of coffee. I drew through my book. So I knew who I was meeting and why I was meeting them. And it made it fun for me. And now I'm pretty used to this routine. So now I only
I was
use
going
like
to say drawing the pictures to me would have been a time sucker.
no, because I'm really fast at it. Just
Oh.
like singing, it just kind of comes out of me. So it's not like the detailed, drawing or anything, but it's just enough to trigger my brain to remember that I wanted to do that. It kept me engaged.
I think another thing is too is priority takes place, because if we look at all of the stuff that we do and we're constantly busy, and somebody, we talked about the power of no, and we tell people no because I just can't work it into my schedule. That can all be true, assuming that your schedule is very productive. But prioritizing becomes another issue too. And I think a prime example of that is if something happens to a family member, everything goes to the side.
Yes.
Everything that you're doing gets pushed off to the side, and you focus on, say, that family member or some other situation that takes you away from it. And let's say you've got to travel out of state, all of your business, all of your parties, most of the time will just go by the wayside. So that makes me kind of think that through and go, you know what? Priority is huge. Because, even when we had, most of if you followed us before, is that we had a retail store and it was constantly going and it's constantly 24/7. You're always working on your business. You're always doing all of this stuff. Well, all of a sudden something happens. You got to drop things, jump on an airplane, head out. Now, hopefully with a backup to make your business continue to work. But a lot of that stuff just goes right straight out of your brain. And next thing you know, you're on a plane flight.
My example is I was always worried about time and getting things done and da 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 da. When I was in my car accident in 2014, everything that I thought I had to get done, no one else could do, and only I could do it. When I was in that car accident and I stopped everything, I just disappeared from the planet, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that I thought could not happen without me kept going without me.
It's amazing.
Yeah, so that's what made me realize that my time was very precious and how I allotted it was even more precious, and that my highest priority is to be around my family and to take care of myself, and that everything else was just kind of a sidetrack, and that if I wanted someone in my calendar, they were people that I truly wanted to be around. And so I'm very picky about who I let into my world. And that's something else we need to worry about with time is sometimes there are people who just time suck you to death.
Oh.
And you've got to be, they're what do we call them? Time sucker. No, vampires.
Time vampires, yeah.
And you've got to.
Or mental suckers, yeah.
Mental suckers, because you need to learn those people in your world that when you're with them, where they drain you so much that you can't really go on for the rest of the day. Those are energy suckers. Those are time suckers.
Right.
And if they want to suck onto you and eat you alive, basically, they may not even know they're doing it. But you realize how drained you are after it. You need to take control of yourself, your life, your time, and say, you know what? Love you, want you, need you, but can't have you in my world.
Right. One of the things that I was taught many, many years ago is, and it's what actually got me into the Air Force, was where are you? How do you see yourself? And if you don't know, look at the 10 people around you.
Yes, it's huge.
And if you look at the 10 people around you, if they're not where you want to be or where you're going or ahead of you, so you can follow them, they probably don't belong in your world. Now, that doesn't mean go out and get rid of Aunt Jane because she's a schmuck, but you can always talk to her later, but that just means she's not a priority. Or he, Uncle John, he's not a priority in what you're doing in making your business a success. But even if it's your friends, sometimes it's hard to get rid of friends. But if they're taking away your time, they've always got to, they're always there. They're always going, can you help me with this? Can you help me with that? And you're not getting your goals met, if you will, or your priorities met, then kind of turn them off your life until you get to where you can and where you can actually join them. Somebody give us a little angry symbol over there. What happened?
Oh, that was me.
Oh, that was you? You're getting angry at us already. You're not even watching.
No, I tried to hit share, and share's right next to the angry button. I hit share, and my little scroll button moved, and I went, oops.
Uh-oh.
See, now I'm crying.
Aw, it's not changing.
It didn't change.
Technology is not your number one source here or strength?
No, it's not.
Oh my.
Okay, so time in a bottle.
Why did you come up with that anyway? I like it. A bottle. Just because it's the song?
Well, because everyone thinks that we all have this, we have this precious time, like my precious, and it's time. And it's something we should all cherish because we're not all guaranteed anything. And tomorrow is never promised. So time is so precious, and that it's a commodity we need to use and make sure that we're not wasting and pouring it out. So I think of time as a bottle of sand, and that's why I use the sand
right.
the sand thingy, because
the hourglass
sort of thing. Because think of all the people who take their time and just kind of shake it, and it just kind of goes everywhere, and that people aren't really there for them.
Where is it? Right here.
Yeah.
The hourglass.
Yeah, I see it as a bottle of sand, and we have to take care of that sand and nourish it. I don't know. I see it as a ball of sand.
Sometimes our conversations do this number.
Yeah, the thing is out here in Colorado, we've got right now some serious smoke in the air too, so it's kind of hard to breathe. It's really smoky. It's hot. My eyes are burning.
Gee whiz, tell us how you really feel today.
And I'm thinking, and it's about to be winter in Colorado. This porch is going to be really cold.
Are we gonna get coats and stuff?
Yeah.
And sit here?
We're gonna have denim coats.
Denim coats. Okay, cool. What somebody call that the other day? Oh, a Canadian tuxedo.
Canadian tuxedo.
Which I had never heard of.
Me neither.
Until I looked it up, and it's basically a full denim outfit.
Really?
Yeah, it's not even cowboyish. I felt like when I looked it up, it was like rolling back into the 70s where everything was jean jackets.
Yes.
Yes. Which I actually have one of those in the house.
So do I.
Yeah. Mine's 2 different colors though.
Mine's cool because it's me.
I think we've run our time.
We have. And I desperately tried to share the Denim and Pearl page. So if you're out there and you're listening, please share the Denim and Pearl page because it's not allowing me to. It did put a nice angry face there for me. And sorry about that.
We'll have to figure that one out later.
Yeah, I touched it and it went angry. So
yes.
Time in a bottle. What are you doing with your time? How do you spend it? Do you think you're spending it wisely? If you don't, analyze your day, analyze your week, and plan accordingly.
Prioritize and organize.
Yes, and it doesn't have to be all at once. Okay. I don't know how to use your computer. So it doesn't have to be all at once. Do what you can when you can, and maybe prioritize one thing at a time. Maybe just your mornings for a bit. Maybe just one day in your week. And you're clicking on something?
I'm going to click on something. Balance between personal and business is a learned behavior.
Yes.
I would agree. It all comes back to what we talked about before. It's all organization and prioritization. It's also balancing your life.
There is no balance.
No, you don't think so?
I think it's a juggling game. Yeah, you're constantly juggling.
Yes. We just have to find out where it's a nice even keel, though. So
Yeah,
I would
what
say,
works for you?
yeah, what definitely works for you, because some of us have family members who suck more time than we would like them to suck out of us, if you will. Some of us have businesses that suck too much time out of us, and we don't put time towards our families. But that's a whole other thing, is trying to balance those things. You say no balance, but
I say it's juggling. So you have
yeah.
life, work, family,
Play.
health, play. Yeah, I mean, and you're constantly doing all this, and you're always having at least two in your hands at one time, but the other ones are still up in the air waiting to come back down. So you've got to know when to drop it.
Work hard, play hard.
Yeah. So
That's my motto. I think the military taught me that one.
yeah,
Work hard, play hard.
work hard, play harder.
Play harder.
Yeah, that's what my dying experiences have taught me. Live, enjoy yourself, and then find how to live within that realm.
Right.
So know your time, find your time, and if you need help, write us in the back end. We'll talk to you, because the thing is time. We all have the same amount of time. You can't say you ran out of time. No, you will use your time wisely, unwisely. So you want to use your time wisely, so you do not run out of time. So
And I think we're out of time.
we are out of time. So, with that being said,
like, share, enjoy us, share us with everybody else. Hey, what happened? I
Right.
showed her again. Never mind.
So please go to the YouTube page, and Nicholas put it over there in the thread. Go to the YouTube page, like, subscribe, and put on the alert for when we go live. And until then,
Peace.
peace.